Hey guys, it's Mr. Mom here and it's art time. And today what we're going to be doing for your homework or VL session with me is we're going to do work on patterns and designs again. And you should have received a piece of paper like this from your teacher or from me in class. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to trace our hands on it, okay? And you should have also received a reference paper to give you some design ideas. Now we want to trace our hand on here, so that's why you'll need some materials. You'll need a pencil, eraser, rubber eraser, a marker, a black marker most preferably, or maybe dark brown. Maybe I won't even limit you, markers, color markers or something like that, and scissors. What we're going to do first is you're going to trace your hand, but make sure that when you're tracing your hand, you're only going to trace it on one side, okay? So you're going to trace it not in the middle. Don't put it in the middle. So don't put it in the middle. Put it in one side like this because you need to trace the other hand as well. So I'm going to trace it here just very quickly with my pencil. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Try to keep it steady. So have a nice smooth surface to trace it in. Okay, and then once you've done that part, now, because I'm right-handed, it's going to be hard for me to trace with my left hand. So you can do that if you want to, or you could use the left hand again, or your weak hand. And what you notice what I did here is, the reason I asked you to put it on one side, like this, you can see it's one side. It's kind of hard to see with the pencil, but there it is. There's space now on the other side. So what I do is, after I've done it this side, I flip the paper over to go this side, and then I trace it again, okay? So you'll see it more clearly when I ink over it with the pen. So just very quickly trace it. Now I'm using the pencil because it might, if I make any big mistakes or something like that, then I can easily erase it. And this is mostly the part that I would use the pencil on. So I know you can't really see it, but you can, both hands are now on there. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and quickly ink it as fast as I can so that you can see it. Now you could potentially go ahead and ink all of it using the marker pen instead of using the pencil. But like I said, if you do make a mistake with the pen, it's going to be harder to correct it. And also because this is color paper, you're not going to be able to like white it out or use correction fluid. So here I go. And some lines I don't see, like maybe I lifted my pencil and so it didn't make the mark there. And that's okay. What you do is just kind of just fill it in. Just fill it in from memory. Just connect the lines together. So you can see here, this is going to be my other hand. But what you'll notice is that they're both going to be my left hand. So what is our solution? How do I have a left and a right hand? Can you guys figure it out? Okay, so that's one hand, and this is my left hand. But then if I flip this over again, this is also my left hand. So now you can kind of see it a little bit more clearly how I put the hand on one side, and now I'm making the other hand on this side. Now this is just going to be the first quick part of this video, so that I can post it for you guys. So let me quickly do this. Okay. Probably should have put some music in the background. I should probably do a VL playlist and ask you guys what kind of music we can put on the background. Okay, so I'm almost finished here. Now just make sure that you close, like I said, close any of the gaps. If there's any part that's missing, and don't worry about making it perfect, because that's a hard thing to try to achieve, and it's better to not to. Okay, so this is where you will have something that looks like this. Now I obviously have a lot fatter bigger hands than you guys do. So, So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out. And that's what I want you guys to work on. So this is, once you cut this out, what you will notice after you cut it out is that you can just flip it to make the left and right hand. So I'm going to cut these arms out, these arms and hand, and try to do more than just your hand. Try to get as much of the. Now I'm going to do a rough cut here. This is just a rough cut means it allows me just to make this paper smaller so I can cut a lot faster. So this is called a rough cut, and it's okay to do this kind of cut because it helps to speed things up a little bit instead of trying to control this big paper going around and around. Okay, so here's my rough cut. That's a rough cut. Okay, so I didn't get all the fingers. I'm going to do a quick rough cut of this one too. So once I finish this, and then I'll show you what we need to do next. Okay. So I'm just doing a rough cut of this right now, but I'm going to turn one of this into my right hand, because what I trace is I did trace only my left hand. So after you finish this, remember any used paper that you have, please recycle it. Okay, put it in the recycling bin. I'll put it over here for later. So then I'll recycle it. So with my rough cut, it allows me to very quickly now cut and control the paper. So that's why it's really good to do a rough cut. So I'll just do this really, really fast. It'd be nice if I could fast speed through it. Okay. Now, obviously, as I pointed out so many times already, I'm using the same hand. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is finish that. Okay, so rough cut. Now going to the detail, but I only have to deal with small pieces, so it's a lot easier to do. Now I'm just going to cut one right here so I can show you how to turn my left hand into a right hand. And to do that, it's really simple. To do that, so these are both my left hands, right? So to turn this one into a right hand, I'm going to flip it over. Look at that. Now I have a left and a right hand. That's all I had to do was flip it over. And then you'll use these two parts. Okay, I'm going to stop the video right now so you can do your cutting. And then we'll talk about making the patterns in the next video that I'll post. Or you could just go ahead and start. This is basically what you're going to do. You're going to make this kind of design. Okay? I will talk to you guys later. I'll be right back. I've got to go.